Another step for Austin today. Sheldon, how'd you see that?
He looked good to me out there in terms of how he's moving and everything, and I know he was excited to be back on the ice with some of his teammates. So, yeah, a step in the process for him. I don't know where it's going to lead. I haven't talked to anybody since. We think he's going to stay on a similar type of plan for the remainder of this week.
Is the most important? I know we all think of the shot and everything, but just the stick work and tight and everything. How the Rivers responds to that, is that part of the next part of the evaluation process, I suppose, or how do you see it?
Yeah, I think all those things, the shot, the stick handling, in terms of gameplay, obviously face-offs for a center are probably the most significant thing. So all those kind of things, that's why it needs a little bit more time. It looks to me like he's doing well, but in terms of him really pushing it, in terms of the shot and the torque that's associated with his shot, especially, that's something that he's going to build towards, and that's what he's going through now.
Is that part of the approach, Sheldon, that he takes part in sort of half the practice and then make his way off?
Yeah, he's basically just doing the non-contact pieces, the stuff that involves skating, shooting, passing. He's pretty capable of that right now. He's going to stay on that plan. There's no set timetable or anything at this stage. What's been communicated to me is that likely the next couple of days you'll see something similar to today, and then they'll reevaluate from there.
He was able to win a Rocket Richard, bothered by that wrist last season for a good chunk of the year. What sort of potential do you see for him to take another step this year?
I see great potential. Not just, the health, of course, is part of it, but he's going to continue to get better as a player and as an athlete. He's committed. He's always working to add different layers to his game. He's a year older, more experience. So, this amazing season he had last season, and of course, knowing what he was going through, that he didn't play many games where he was feeling 100%, and yet still was incredible. It's exciting to know that he's going to be feeling better when he gets back on the ice and playing for real again.
In regards to the goaltending, how do you expect it to shake out? You're hoping that by the end of camp, one of the guys is going to separate themselves as the number one, or is it going to be something that all season long it's going to be one guy or the other?
I would say it's something that over the course of the season is going to play out. I don't expect in the next couple of weeks there's going to be any level of separation there. Right now it's just about getting both guys up and running and feeling good. We're going to start the season with a back-to-back games. We'll decide who's going to play the first night, who's going to play the second night, and just kind of take it a day at a time there. We've got two goalies that are very capable. We've also got two guys that have been in this situation before where they're sharing the net and they're pushing one another. We expect that to be the case all season long.
It might be a big deal outside who's the number one guy going into game one. Does it matter if it's Jack or if it's Peter starts game one?
Doesn't matter to me. I haven't stressed about it at all. As I said, we're going to play game one. We're going to get on a plane and go and play game two the very next night. So we're going to use two goalies right off the start of the season. And like I said, I expected that will continue for a good period of time. And I think I would like the ability for both guys to continue to push each other.
What kind of an impact do you hope that Greg Hart could have on your players this season?
We just think, that on the mental performance side is an area that the organization has been trying to grow in, for as long as I've been here, and he's got great experience. Comes in with a fresh voice, fresh set of eyes in terms of what's happening here, and he's a guy that's just going to take his time to build relationships and let players know what he's about and how he can help. It's not just players; it's coaches as well, and all departments of our organization. So he's going to be in and out of town, and when he's a resource for everybody. But even from a distance, he's somebody that I can talk to or the players can talk to, and he's got a lot of great experience and a very different perspective of what's happening here, and it's a nice addition to us, for us, I should say, and an area I think every organization is looking to get better in, and I think we've got a good guy in that department.
Yeah, his resume is quite something. How did he get on the radar for you guys initially, at least?
I think our high performance team led by Rich Rotenberg was a guy that did a lot of the research and trying to find the right people and develop the list, and then myself and Kyle and Brendan worked through that, and We're happy that we were able to. You don't really hire somebody like Greg Hart and he decides whether or not he wants to come work for you, and we were fortunate enough that he decided to join us.
Now that you have 2 preseason games done, 4 to go plus the scrimmage, how do you anticipate maybe moving more players between groups or mixing up lines? What do you want to see, or how do you want to utilize these next games, given what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I think what we'll see as we get through tomorrow. We had sort of separated into different phases as we're going through the preseason, and we have the first 3 games, and then we've got our blue-white scrimmage in the middle, and then 3 more, with the first 2 being back-to-backs. So we do expect as we get into next week, and I guess really we're going to make a decision on the blue and white, just how we handle the lines and stuff like that. But certainly as we get into next week, we're going to be, starting to move things around a little bit closer to what we would be projecting to look like, expecting that we'll have battles for spots that will go right to the very end until we have to make a decision. But you'll see tomorrow that we're going to be giving a lot of guys opportunities. A lot of our top guys won't be going to Ottawa tomorrow, and a lot of opportunity for guys that are competing for positions.
So that last exhibition game, Sheldon, just the way kind of a weird schedule because there's a gap there between 5 and 6. But are you saying then maybe instead of having your actual lineup that night, expecting 1 or 2 jobs to be battled for then? Or?
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, Terry. I mean, we have the back-to-back games early next week, and then we've got some time off there before we play again. So I suspect a lot of decisions we make, we would anticipate that a lot of the cuts will be made right after that back-to-back. But there will be decisions. I would imagine they're going to go right to the very end, as there always is, and we'll have to make decisions on the final lineup for that game. We certainly, of course, will have it look a lot like what our opening night lineup will look like, but probably not exact because there will be things to sort out, and who knows what will look like on an injury front. So we'll manage that as it comes. But how we've mapped it out is that there's an expectation that there'll be some competing still happening right to the very end.
How's Eichel doing after getting out of the NCAA?
I haven't gotten a report on him other than he was on similar plan as Austin today. He's a lower body injury that he's dealing with, so skating is a bit tougher for him. But he got some work in today, and I guess it'll just be a matter of how he's responded to that in terms of where he goes from here.
If the league cracks down, falls through on the crackdown on cross-checking that they said they were going to do, is that something that could benefit a team like Leafs? I know you guys haven't generated as many power plays maybe as you'd like in the past, and certainly you have some high-end talent as well.
Yeah, we think so. We think whether it's cross-checking or any of the other rules, if they're called at a high standard and it's consistent, I think that would benefit any team with high-end talent, and I think it benefits the league and benefits the game. We'll have to see how that plays out, and the players are going to have to adjust. But certainly, we would like to have more power play opportunities if they're warranted. And of course, with that, we've got to make sure our power play is better than it was at the tail end of last season.
That's the ace status?
Yeah, day to day. He got a little banged up yesterday, so he needed to take today. He won't play tomorrow, and we'll just have to see how he is from there.